Remind you, sir.
Okay.
BP and sugar level.
Okay,
Yes,
okay,
sir.
okay.
Yes.
So how are you, sir?
Very well.
Very well, sir. I just said I should find time again for us to talk for some two obvious reasons. One, like I told you the other day, you saw the Commander-in-Chief. I tried to make now a follow-up. One from the fatherly concern I saw, he expressed. And then second is also a follow-up to the bit we talked that day. What matters, I know your interest is to subtle the whole case and make sure that it is an in-house thing and that the matter shouldn't go out. But what matters here, sir, is how is the case going to be managed? Here you actually have to play a role yourself for obvious reasons which I told you the other day, that you have to speak yourself. You have to say how the whole thing is. Honestly, I have my reasons for this. I have my reasons because you see, others are there making statements, they are speaking, and they are saying all kinds of things. It may be true, it may not be true. And second is that unless you speak, you see, SIP has not come to talk to you yet. Have they reached you? It's part of actually the respect accorded to you. That's why they have not reached you yet. And they have been told to wait and to still see ways where it can be maneuvered for you. And because I know Oga has this interest, that's why I'm here actually to have discussions with you and to see what other details you can give us. Because you see, like I told you, Oga's annoyance is that you refuse to tell him much. And all the rest are speaking. There is a cassette I wanted to bring here for me to play for you. The contents in that cassette actually the outcome of one of your meetings. I think they said it's General Adisa who never trusted the meeting initially, that entered with a small tape recorder into your meetings, and he recorded everything. And the cassette was played for SIP. And now SIP took the cassette back, and I think they are trying to actually present it to PRC. So I rush now to have discussions with you. I listened to it carefully. But if you want, I can still find a way of bringing it to play for you. You were in the meeting, Chief of Army Staff was in the meeting, GOC2 Division was in the meeting, the CO3 Guards Battalion was in the meeting, FADIPA was in the meeting, CO 81 Guards Battalion also was in the meeting. Those were the ones that had their voices in the discussions. And this cassette was presented by Major General Adisa. He said he actually had played his own role, and that by reporting, he did it actually to show to the country that he didn't mean harm to the state. So I think briefly, sir, you know it's a fasting period. I want to rush also to prayers now. Yes, sir.
Maybe you should have found a better time because I know it's fasting period.
Yes, sir.
You know, the last time I came here, I begged you not to go further with this investigation. Let us treat this matter as a family problem. I have made a mistake in that when this idea of wanting to force the Edo State to resign was mentioned, I fell into it. You see, and I have begged, I told you the reasons why, you know, Oga created the gap between me and him. In the last 9 months, I told Oga himself, he was not consulting me on anything. This vision 2010 that was constituted, I did not know anything about it. All the names there, I did not have one single name. All this the dissolution of cabinet, I was not consulted. When the cabinet was reconstituted, I was not consulted. When these ambassadors were appointed, I was not consulted. Even the electoral officers that we sat down in my house to compile, by the time it came out, I was not consulted. People have come in. Wazu, Shikola, all these people have come in between me and Oga. So when this idea of Bama is talking of forcing the CNC to resign and all this thing, you know, I mean, I don't know where I belong. All I did was to ask Oladipo to come, and I mentioned it to him that look, this is the thing. And Oladipo even cautioned. He said I should give him time to go and find out, you know. And when he came back and he told me that yes, he had found out, and he spoke to, I don't know whether he spoke to Aziza, but I think he spoke to Aziza, and Aziza confirmed, you know, that yes. That was the time I gave full support. All I was cautioning, if you listen to this tip you are talking about, I don't want bloodshed, I don't want coup, I don't want bloodshed, I don't want coup, I don't want bloodshed, I don't want coup. All these things I was saying. You see, the mistake I made is the gap that Oga creates between me and him. But all I'm begging and praying for is that these people involved are too close to Oga for any world exposure. You know, when you talk of Ashimagaji, you talk of Baba, you talk of Abisa, you talk of Oladipo, they are Oga's children, including me. You see, so I am begging you in the name of God, Mustafa, you are the only person who can do this thing. Make this thing an in-house thing. Let everybody come and prostrate before Oga and apologize. You know, a mistake has been made. The reason for my own, I have told you. Please, I'm begging you in the name of God. Okay, like all these speeches you are talking about now, there is none there that is mine. Like the speech Magashi told it came from Lagos. You know, I mean, it was sent by Oladipo, by through one Major Akali, but Akali does not say anything about it, so please, because it was sealed. It was sealed. You see, people involved are too close, We have made mistake. This mistake should not end everything that Oga has done for all of us. He built all of us. I was to retire as a commandant war college. He was the one who, you know everything, you know what you have gone through. You know what this thing can bring now, the shame it will bring onto me, the shame it will bring even onto the system. Even forgot to ask me to go to retire today now. I will cry because I want to complete this transition program with him, and it's not too late. Mustafa, you are the only one who can do it. You are the only one that can do it. Let them stop all this investigation, please. Get these people to let them come and prostrate before Oga and talk to Oga and beg him. And what I've gone through in the last 12 days now, I have never gone through it in my life. And to be incarcerated without seeing anybody, without talking, is more than sufficient punishment. Anything beyond that can even make one go mental. Please.
Yes, sir. You see, like I told you, if you are now, one is to propose the withdrawal of the SIP, for example, the investigation to be withdrawn like you are proposing, there must be data that actually the head of state should utilize to say, okay, I'm now saturated with all the data before me, and based on the powers vested in him, he can now say, okay, SIP to stand down. But he must know. Unless he knows, you see, there is no way, honestly.
But like which data?
So much, you see, in the whole thing, sir, you mean, when you went there, sir, you know I was not around, but have you had discussions with the CNC as to how the whole plan was?
I had discussion with the CNC. I told him everything.
Okay, I was not privy to your discussion.
I told him everything, and I told him that, look, the foolishness, the devil that used me to go along with these people without mentioning it to you is just because of the gap that you created between us. And I cited all these examples that I'm citing to you. And I was begging him that, look, if the world should hear all these people planning something against you, it's not in our own interest, it's not in your own interest. So the best thing is to treat this matter as a family affair. Treat it as an inside matter. The moment this investigation starts going on here and there, it will not fetch us any good. I appealed to him, and then that day I knelt down before him, and he told me it's all over. Honestly, you see. But I know that the moment I go, some other people can come and start putting pepper and all this thing. That is why all of us are relying on you. I am relying on you. I'm begging you. all these people involved, they are too close. They are too close, please.
Okay, sir. I'm going to go back on condition that if there are things you skipped that you didn't tell the CNC at that time, that you can update me with, I will go back to tell him, hoping that that will give him enough data, and I'll be able to say that these are the things I heard from you, and hoping that we can use that to beg him to tell the SIP to stand down. If honestly, I want you to think about it, sir. Just tell me.
There's nothing. I won't. For example, now if I told you that all the juices want Oga to resign, there is no way I can cross-check. I don't even know any of the juices. The only person, as I told you, that I can, immediately he told me this. That was the time I sent for Larry. And I said, look, this is what this one told me. Larry told me that I should be cautious because maybe he doesn't know what he's talking about, But by the time he came back to me, he gave me the impression that maybe he has found out from Aziza or something, and then, that's it.
But some from the SIP have already gone to talk to General Adisa emphatically. General Adisa has spoken so much. He wrote quite a lot. And I think the interview has revealed too much, I think. And then second, Fatipa too has spoken too much to them. I was privy to actually some of the statements by Fatipa. So what I want, sir, you see, the type of person head of state is. Once you tell him the truth, finish.
I have told you. Okay, what will I say now?
Okay, like I'm sure, you see, like some of these people, you say, who put paper here and there. Maybe one of them must have found his way through.
I'm not denying the fact now that I attended that meeting. I'm not denying the fact. The only thing is, when I look at it, it's like you are attending a caucus meeting. They are telling me this is what they want to do. And, if they say this is what they want to do and look at it, it's not workable. It's not workable. Before we agreed on the last option of coming in here, I'm not denying anything. All I'm saying is that Oga should just look at this matter as an inside matter involving his children. A father, who is there now that is not an Abacha boy? You mentioned it. Is it Magashi himself? Is it Adisa? Is it Oladipo? Is it me? Who? So by the time all these things are exposed to the world, it doesn't give us any good image. It doesn't give us any good impression. That is just what I'm begging for. See, for God to just, like a father whose children have failed, call them, blast them, say all sorts of things, abuse them, and then look at them. The one you can still work with them. The one you cannot work with, let them go. And someone like me, I will be very, very happy if God can just forgive me, draw me close. It's not too late. Draw me close. I'm ready to work with him. Even if it's a shame for me, even if he retires me now, it's shame. That's something we started together, something I put all my efforts to build. At the tail end of it, I'm losing to be.
Okay, let me tell you, to those who have had little, because the message has not gone out, the information is not, is still within the family.
Oh, thank God.
That's number one. Number two, sir, but from within the family, the worries of the few I had is that if you had known that such a thing was going on, the question of people reporting it was another. That they said it's true, you said you don't want bloodshed, you don't want any coup, it's true, that's what you said. But they said you heard General Adisa talking about the use of RPGs.
That is why we threw out that option. We threw it out completely. I will never be party to such a thing.
But they said up to the last second, that was the option, the use of RPGs and weapons. That's even how I think when General Adisa told them the idea of you initiating the arrest of brigade commander and some others, I think that one also came.
Look, Mustafa, I've told you the truth. All sorts of options were considered. All I was emphasizing that, look, I don't want coup, I don't want some. And in any case, if these people finish, they are going to throw me out. They are going to throw me out.
And that's another question they asked. They say, if you had known that at the end of the day they are going to throw you out, then why did you agree with them? The belief is that every boat or every ship has its own captain and has its own deputy captain. So the deputy captain and the captain are the ones that will sink with the ship. That is what it's supposed to be. Come rain, come shine.
Mustafa.
So, no, I'm telling you what people are saying. Yes, and this is what the family is saying. Yes.
I am now, you see, I have realized what I have done. It's a terrible thing. But what I'm saying is that, you see, this devil does not use ordinary mind. There must be a gap. God created that gap between us. That is all I'm saying. It's all over. Please, let us beg him. Let us beg him.
For begging him, let me tell you something. Me, I'm prepared to beg him. I'm prepared to use others also to team up to beg him. But on condition, sir, that in case he asks me questions, that if you said you have sneaked and spoken to him, did he tell you the truth? Did he tell you the real thing?
But you tell him that I've told you the real thing.
So what will I now tell him is the real thing, sir?
No, the real thing is what I've said. I've never changed anything. You know, the real thing is that, you know, the temptation came that the GCON and, you know, want that to resign.
Okay, sir, let me say 2, 3 things that I am aware of. 4, I think. 1, the day of the conference, I think was the one General Adisa spoke about, and it's the one also Fadika talked about.
The day of this, which conference?
Chief of Army Staff's conference in Enugu. If the CNC were to attend, he was to be arrested there. And the reaction could have been bloody, and it could have ended up there. And I think that was the 8th of December. And you didn't say no to it?
No, because they didn't brief me on that. They didn't brief me on Fadipa himself wouldn't say he knows about that. If Fadipa says he knows about that, then he's lying against himself. Because at that time, I have not been fully brought in. The only thing I know was that the head of state was to go to Enugu, and he didn't go. No, you see, I mean...
But what they said, sir, is that the agreement you had, because I think that is in one of the cassettes, that you were aware that the head of state was to go to Enugu. And when he...
I was aware that he was going to go to Enugu.
And the thing was supposed to happen there, and there was to be a broadcast from there. And there will be a simultaneous announcement or seizure of airport or something like that at that time.
What Bama told me was that they are going to face the CNC with all that luckily is coming to Enugu. He has not given me any full details at that time. He has not.
And the second option they said considered by you was the proposed journey to Lome by the head of state. That he couldn't go. And that soon after he takes off, all he required was 4 hours, according to General Adisa. That all the team required was 4 hours to effect a change. And then some people, even soon after he takes off, the brigade commander was to be arrested along with commissioner of police or something.
You see, the issue is that all these meetings they are talking about,
yes.
The only one I attended was in my guest house. They were doing all their meetings in the first place. You know, so it's when they decide and not consider everything, they come and brief me. I'm not denying that. And when they brief me, I ask questions. How do you want to do this? How do you want to do this without bloodshed? And by the time they answer 1 or 2, 3 questions, we know it's not feasible. We know it's not feasible.
So as at the time the whole arrest happened, sir, even though we have not finished, we only talk about 2. You know, there is the other one, I think one option that talked about mosque.
No. That was not even considered at all.
Okay, there's another one that was considered on the CNC's way to the airport. You talked about Abuja Gate, you talked about the government junction.
That was where the CEO was brought in to ask how, if that is the case, how do you do it without bloodshed? And he confirmed that it's not possible without bloodshed.
So, sir, okay, let me, when I finish, I will ask you a question, sir. Then another option was the option in Sheraton, the NIIA dinner night.
That was ruled out.
So, sir, if all options were ruled out, sir, I thought you could have spoken to the CNC at that time then?
No, because the option that was approved is the option that was being implemented. You know, the option of coming to meet you, coming to get the CNC, that was the option.
Okay, sir, supposing they have succeeded in taking away the head of state, sir?
Well, maybe I will run away or something, because I know the whole thing will now be between Shire and maybe JT saying, or Abdul Karim of Salam.
Is General Sani in the thing, sir?
No. Not to my knowledge.
What of the CDS? Is he in the thing?
Not to my knowledge. Not to my knowledge.
Yes, sir. Well, you know why I'm asking this question, sir? I'm asking because certainly if I go to now present the case to the head of state to say that please this matter should not go out and let the SIP be told to actually stand down, he will ask a question certainly, you know, sir. I must have something to tell him. That's why I'm asking this question. So you don't think that?
No, please, help the nation, help me, help Oga. Let's help ourselves. See, this thing, if it goes out, it's not good for any of us. It's not good for the image of the country. Look at the people. They are too close. They are too close. People will blame us. They look at this way, the foolish people. What are they looking for? Not this thing. But at the same time, people will look at it. If all the Oga's children are quarreling with him, something must be wrong somewhere. And look at the image of the nation too. You see, please, you are the only one who can come in. Let's settle this matter internally. Don't let it go out. Don't let it go beyond this family.
Okay, but you should be thankful to God and thankful to Oga too.
Yes.
From the way he's handling the whole matter. He didn't talk to people.
Honestly.
That's why you see, on a case like this, for such a thing to happen and for you to see the main target calling on those who were supposed to have unseated him, you know, coming, allowing them to come closer to have discussions. It has never happened.
It has never.
But he has done it, sir. He has done it, sir.
So please,
he has done it,
sir. Still do one. Let this matter be a family matter, please.
Well, I'm going to go back for that actually, sir. But I think that
what do I have? Even this thing that we are doing, what tools do I have? Even the CEO, do I know him? I don't know anybody. The only thing that they saw that there is a gap between me and Oga, and they are exploiting it, that's all. Otherwise, I mean, what should you have? If a Jew of honest have said that, it would be very interesting.
But that is stated. He stated, I'm telling you.
But you know that cannot be correct.
Well, yes, I see, but it's of interest for us to know. So
like this CEO now, you know, but for Mangashi, I don't know him. I mean, there's somebody I know. I don't command any troops, I don't, you know. I mean, even coming to me is just to, you know, just to maybe get the experience of, you know, telling them, please, I don't want a coup, I don't want bloodshed, the world will not accept you, it's not fair to anybody, don't let us do this thing with any loss of blood and all this thing, you know, that's all. Just cautioning them. They gave me the impression that they were all ready.
Okay, sir. Supposing I'm asked by the head of state now, in case I present your request to him, you think it's okay? This information alone will make him see reason?
No. The main information
right, sir,
is that all of us involved in this thing are his children. We are too close to him for the world to know that this type of thing is happening between us. And we should please treat this matter as a family matter. We should get all these boys together. We all prostrate, let him abuse, let him do whatever he wants to do with us, you know, and let him just forget about the matter. You know, sufficiently, most of us have suffered enough. I have never experienced what I'm experiencing that place in my life. You know, I mean, please, Mustafa, you are the only one.
I will pass your message, sir.
History will advocate you. Please.
I will pass your message, sir. I will pass your message. Major, is it Apulu, one of your officers?
Is he arrested?
And the secure and the finance officer, one show it on. The two of them. I think they are the ones that said they brought money for you, and you gave the money to Fadipa, and Fadipa took the money in big bags or so. And that money was meant for the operation or something like that.
You know, look, like what I'm saying, we shouldn't investigate this thing too much. It is true. I gave Fadipa 2 million to give to Bamai.
Okay.
But when you said he had no money, that I did, I won't deny. Please.
Okay, sir. No, it's good for me to know. In case I'm asked, I wouldn't want to go and be a bad ambassador. I promise you that I will speak on your behalf, and only for me to go and then be asked a question and I can't talk.
Yes, sir, if this thing gets out, honestly, if this thing gets out, it's not in our own interest. It's not in the interest of the administration. It's not in the interest of Oga himself. It's not in the interest. It's not in my own interest. It's not in your own interest. And we all started as a family. You know, anything can happen at any time. Mistake can occur. Devil can come in. You know, let us please settle this matter internally. It is not yet out to the world. It is not yet out. Please, you can do a lot. You can do a lot. You see, try to investigate, find out this. The tendency is there. The more you find out, the more annoyed that can be. You know,
no, but we have to find a way of sealing it. Yes. There should be enough information to seal up the matter. But if there is none, then you see human nature, inquisitiveness is part of human nature. And there is that tendency of trying to know at least to a certain percentage. But if there is none at all, that inquisitiveness will remain and the matter will remain. But if you know enough to put off the matter, that's all we are asking for, sir. No more, no less. The essence is to apply. You saw the way you saw Oga that day with maturity. Oga didn't shout on you. Oga, you didn't quarrel.
In fact, I thought I was going back to the villa that night. Honestly.
Okay.
I was going back to the villa that night.
Yes, sir, but you see, I cannot, from those whose responsibility, even for you to come to see the head of state, you know what it takes. We broke the whole rules.
I know.
It is the responsibility of others. So now it is left for us to now go through defense, DSQ, and now get all these things. And even for me to have discussions with you here, I have to pass through. I'm breaking even some of their rules, actually. I'm not supposed to do this.
I know.
And you know, it was because we met here the first time, that's how you were able to have seen the head of state. So as far as I'm concerned here, sir, what I'm asking is that think, sir, or try to reflect, or probably, if you believe we may not have enough chance, why can't you, sir, take a pen and think about it and write on each individual when you go back, in case there are things you believe.
Then you are still investigating.
No, I'm not investigating. Okay, sir, don't write. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought it's an option. I thought there is that confidentiality between you and Oga. But you know the type of person Oga is. You will never ever talk what is between you and him is between you and him. He will never talk.
Please, don't let us go to that extent. You just see Oga and beg on behalf of
okay, sir. Okay,
please.
Okay, sir, I promise to do so.
This is a family matter. You know, I'm very, very sorry. I'm very, very sorry for the way these people have used me. It is the work of devil and the gap that Oga created between me and him. That's all. I'm really sorry about it. I don't want to write all these things, you know, that I don't know anything about this. So it's not even fair on the system, you know. And the main point is that looking at all these boys, they have suffered one way or the other for this administration. And they are all Oga boys. They are all Oga boys. If devil had come in and had used them in one way or the other, it shouldn't be the end of the world. Oga should not look at it as a father. You know, forget about the whole thing, blame them, abuse them, and then the matter end. Please.
Okay, sir. I promise you to pass the message, and I will do my best in terms of settling the whole thing.
Please.
So that the matter will actually be called off.
Please.
I will do my best, sir. But sir, in case I'm asked questions, if you don't worry, I know, like I told you, the essence of knowing the little we try to know, sir, is to use to get enough information to seal off the matter. If you understand what I mean, sir.
Yeah, but then what else do you want to know that I have told you? I'm sure others have told you. You have read, you have taken...
No, I haven't. I have only seen bulk of statements, and I know, and out of concern, each portion I see your name, I try to now quickly read through and give. Because I'm not supposed to be interfering with the arrangements they put in place. Otherwise, that will be tantamount to yet another offense by me, and I wouldn't want to go into that. All you see me doing here even is a risk. I told you before. Sir.
So I think everything I've told you, everything, please, just emphasize on this point for that, let this matter get out to the public. Let it be a family affair. And they should just forgive me as a person. I still want to work with you. I still want to stay with him. It's a shame. If for any reason I'm not part of this administration anymore, it's a shame. I have done everything for this administration. Please. You know what I went through. With my people, with everybody, getting everybody to stand by this administration. Now, look at me now. Living in a place where I cannot even see light. Please. I've been in that place now for 12 days. It's a terrible experience. It's a terrible experience. Mr. God, please, I'm begging you on behalf of everybody. The devil had come, the devil has done his worst, but the devil will not conquer. Please. Please.
Okay, sir. Honestly, noted, sir. Noted, sir. Is there some concern that actually brought the idea of...
You have already tried. Please,
yes.
Complete it. When you complete it and all these boys are called, and Oga blast them, Oga abuse them, honestly, I will be relieved in my heart that yes, what could have brought shame to all of us have been averted.